What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. I am new to this YouTube ordeal, so thank you guys so much for tuning in and for supporting me. So let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and start in. If I sound awful, it's because my sinuses are really acting up and I feel like I have a very stuffed head right now. Like it's just crazy. So if you have sinus, you know what I'm going through. Anyway, and I don't take medicine. So anyhow, let's just jump right into this. So NBA draft is next week. NBA's kicking around the corner again. It's amazing to see. I'm going to go do another podcast on that later down the road. But for right now, because the season starts back December 22nd, I believe. We'll see if my Lakers can pull back another title again, go back to back. So what a crazy season it was. What a crazy year it was in general. So hopefully next year will be better. We'll see. Who knows? Anyway, NBA draft is next week. Excuse me. Grade A NBA mock draft. And so ESPN staff considered all these chances for the NBA draft. And so let's jump into it. So, of course, they have LaMelo Ball go number one. I think he's actually projected to go number one in general. So Minnesota is supposed to be actually drafting him, supposedly. And sorry, guys, this is like the 10th time I've been trying to record this today. So if I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself, it's because I've already kind of repeated myself a couple of times. So, excuse me, please. Okay, so let's jump into it again. Minnesota Timberwolves is supposed to draft LaMelo Ball. We'll see. He's a draft's best playmaker at 6'7". He's the most talented prospect in this class and a true entertainer on the floor with remarkable vision, handle, and touch. Despite defensive concerns alongside D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Towns, which is going to be interesting to see if he can play alongside those two veterans. I love D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Towns. I think they both are pretty talented. We'll see what LaMelo Ball can bring to this team. It depends on who else Minnesota also drafts. However, they've been struggling, so we'll see if they can get it back in gear in the next 2-3 seasons. Now, he would electrify the fan base in Minnesota, supposedly, and give the Timberwolves one of the league's most skilled 25 and under trios. We'll see about that, right? So, I don't know how much he's actually going to bring to the table for Minnesota if Minnesota does draft him, but it's going to be interesting to see. Now, number 2. Golden State Warriors has this pick. Now, will they draft James Wiseman like he is predicted? Wiseman ended up cementing himself as a near consensus number 1 player in his high school class with a strong showing all-star circuit in 2019. However, he was ruled ineligible by the NCAA, which I don't remember why, but I remember this going down, this happening. He was served with a 12-game suspension, which we all know how NCAA is with their rules and everything between. They have a lot of strict rules. Now, which it led him to leave in Memphis. He only got to play in 3 games. However, he offered few answers about his abilities. So I am impressed if Golden State does draft him, just because apparently they see something that I don't and whoever else don't. Can he be a good player? If you go back and look at his high school career, I believe, yes, he can be a good player, but can he play at a professional level, since we didn't get to see him at a collegiate level, but for 3 games? So, I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Now, number 3, Charlotte Hornets. Onika, I'm not going to pronounce that last name, sorry. Okongwu, maybe? Anyway, he's from USC. A lack of confidence in Anthony Edwards reaching his full potential, especially with the Hornets combined. So, he is probably going to be the best big man in this draft. So it's supposed to be a surprising pick with the Hornets. They're coming in at number 3 with the pick. Will they draft this guy? I don't know. I believe they could. It's going to be interesting if they do. Now, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, I think, to see if this is going to be the type of player that Charlotte handles. Now, hearing a lot about him, I've never gotten to watch this guy play. I think that Charlotte would be a good fit for him. Charlotte needs somebody like this guy. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what this kind of talent will have in the league. And, you just never know what kind of talent you're going to get, whether they go number 1 or number 10. You don't know how their performance is going to be in the league. You go from college to professional or high school to professional. It's totally different. It's not like it's Kobe Bryant or LeBron James in all sense, right? Excuse me once again. Okay. Anthony Edwards is supposed to be drafted at number 4. That's the projected draft. Now, however, Chicago Bulls does have the number 4 pick. I think they would be crazy if they don't go for this guy. Once again, Anthony Edwards is one of the best players, I feel like, in the SEC alone. Now, I'm saying that I'm an Arkansas fan, not a Georgia fan. However, he has shown a lot of good potential to be a professional basketball player. Now, the Bulls need a good player. They need a good guard. So, the Bulls could certainly look for a past first point guard such as Tyrese Halliburton to play alongside Kobe White Edwards, who I'm considering the number 2 prospect in the draft, is simply too talented to pass on. I agree. Billy Donovan has proven he can develop young talent. I do agree with that. I'm not a big Billy Donovan fan like I used to be. However, he can take players and sculpt them into a better player, if that makes any sense. Now, a dynamic 3-level scorer with tremendous tools and charisma to match. He would be a good fit in Chicago, I believe. Will Chicago wind up drafting him, or will they pass him up? That's a question that we'll have answered next week, and I cannot wait. That would be interesting for sure. Now, number 5, Tyrese Halliburton. Don't know a lot about this guy. So, Cleveland Cavaliers has the number 5 pick. This guy's coming from Iowa State. He's also a guard. The Cavaliers have taken guards in the lottery the past 2 years. Sorry. Excuse me. Without clarity that Colin Sexton is a point guard or Darius Garland is a long-term starter, Cleveland shouldn't be afraid to take another if Halliburton is still on the board. I think he will still be on the board for number 5 if it's like 10 on down. I don't think this guy will be on the board. However, I think he'll still be on the board at number 5. He's coming from Iowa State. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Cleveland shouldn't be afraid to take another one. I agree with this part because his skill set looks particularly complementary to Sexton. So I do agree with this guy who says Pelton is the name who wrote this. I don't know a lot of ESPN writers anymore. Sorry. His skill set looks particularly complementary. I can't even talk today, so forget that word, okay? So he's probably going to be pretty good. Now, his skill set is really good. I remember this guy letting it back in March Madness, and we didn't get to have March Madness really last year. So, at all for D1, right? I'm thinking about Division 2, sorry. I don't think so. Everything's been so crazy for 2020, so come on now. It sucked because I love March Madness. So, if you know me, you know I do brackets pretty much every year if I can. One year I did like 4 brackets. All of them pretty much busted except for like one at the end. And I think I got like 2 of the 4 brackets pretty close. I just love brackets. You know, and then somebody I knew had legit, she didn't know nothing about it at a job that I worked at. And she got like 1st place. And I got like 3rd place. I was so mad. But yeah, I mean, you just never do know. And I love March Madness. Hopefully we'll get to have it this year at least, you know. Who knows? So, on that note, those are the top 5 mock drafts. Go and look at this article. I'm going to link it down below. There's 30 picks on here. Go look at it. Lakers are coming in at Nico Mannion. I don't know how to pronounce that because I've never really heard of that guy. That's who the Lakers are supposed to be drafting. I think he's from another country if I'm not mistaken. Cassius Winston is supposed to be going to Oklahoma City Thunder. That's the projected. Malachi Flynn, number 24, Milwaukee Bucks, supposedly. So there's a lot of good ones. Cole Anthony, Denver is looking to probably draft him. There's a lot of good mock drafts on here who these guys actually think is going to go in the draft. So there's a lot of good ones on here. And I think that Patrick Williams is another one that the Kings are supposed to be looking into. So we'll see. Cannot wait for the draft next week. Go check this article out because there's a lot of good content on this article from ESPN. But it's ESPN Plus, but you can actually still look at the main content of this. So, go look at it right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See ya. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too.